And instead of passing constitutional carry nationwide, even though it's been kind of proven to work, Democratic and Republican politicians alike chose to get the weapons of war off the street with some type of gun reform, even though something tells me they don't know what a weapon of war is. And that's been proven when Republican Representative from Florida, Gregory Steube, asked that simple question.
Yield to a member on the Democratic side that served in a combat area designated zone and deployment of our country. Anybody in the Democratic side?
Mr. Steube, what's the purpose of the question? My father. No, let me finish. Let me finish.
Because I'm going to make a point, and you're taking my time. So I will yield to any member who
because
deployed.
I'm offended at your suggestion that somehow, if we've not served in a combat zone, then we don't care about protecting the lives of our constituents.
Has nothing
That's
to do
why
with
I'm
how you
responding. And for our family members who have lost blood,
time.
they should be respected.
Reclaiming my time. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like 40 seconds
I've seen
back on
my
the clock.
constituents die in battle. It's Mr. Steube's time.
Now, this is just an emotional tactic in order to just pull at your heartstrings, because this is what politicians do because they don't have any substance to stand on, instead of actually answering the question that he asked.
And I will ask for 40 additional seconds that I was taken. Okay, so I served in Operation Iraqi Freedom. I served in the Army, and there's a lot of talk in Washington about weapons of war. And my purpose of yielding to one of my colleagues who may have served was to ask them a specific question of what type of firearm were you issued when you were deployed. And the answer to that question is a true, what would be defined as a weapon actually used in war, has a selector switch on it for fully automatic, 3-round burst, and semi-automatic. So when I deployed in 2006 in Operation Iraqi Freedom, we were issued M4s in the United States Army. Those M4s had a selector switch on them. Those selector switch allow you to have fully automatic, 3-round burst, or semi-automatic. Those firearms are not allowed for purchase in the United States today. So this cascading of weapons of war, what I was issued, and again, I would ask any person that served in a deployed environment, you are issued weapons that allow for fully automatic and 3-round burst. That is not available for purchase in the United States, and that is not what the Democrats are attempting to ban today, because that's already banned.
Now, cut and dry, that's what a weapon of war is. He specifically told you it is a weapon that you can change your select pace of fire. Semi-automatic, 3-round burst, fully automatic. Simple, plain, cut and dry. So now let's move on to the law that politicians have been trying to pass, this arbitrary number of rounds that you can hold in your weapon of choice. Whether it be, well, it was 10 rounds, but now they moved it on to 15.
What we're talking about is a semi-automatic rifle that only is used in a semi-automatic form. So behind me is a typical AR platform weapon. You can't see it because it's on this side, not the other side, that has a selector switch on it. That selector switch is only for fire or not fire, safe or not safe, and that is for a semi-automatic operation of the weapon, which means every time I depress the trigger, a round comes out of the firearm. All right, next slide, and just move it over. This is the most popular handgun in the United States that was purchased is the Glock 19. It functions in exactly the same way as this rifle. It's a semi-automatic, just like that's a semi-automatic. The rifles not available for purchase don't have a selector switch for 3-round burst or fully auto. This is a semi-automatic handgun. As quick as I depress the trigger of this Glock 19, a round comes out of the chamber. The functionality between that weapon and this weapon are exactly identical. There is no difference. So you're banning a class of weapons that you don't like the look of, not because of functionality, not because of how fast a round comes out of the weapon, just because you don't like the way that they look, because they function exactly the same. Now move this one over one. So now this is a Glock 19. Glock 19 comes with a 15-round magazine, which under this bill is legal, although it's interesting that a couple weeks ago you banned 10-round magazines and then you changed it to a 15-round magazine. It's interesting to understand the thought process there, but that is for another time. This is a 6-hour P320, which some of you probably saw in one of the hearings on the magazine bans. I showed my P320. This comes with a 20-round magazine. So under this bill, because it has a 15-round magazine ban, this gun would be banned because you wouldn't be able to use it. Again, it functions exactly the same as that gun.
Now, this is my personal opinion. I'm going to listen to the guy about what a weapon of war is, who's actually been in the military, been in combat, and still currently owns firearms. That's just me though. Just with that simple presentation, you can see that American citizens don't own weapons of war. And if an American citizen does, more than likely it's illegal. It sounds like they're trying to take everyone's guns. And that means it's just going to be law-abiding citizens, and criminals will still own guns because they are criminals. They're going to break the law. That's what they do. So I'm one of those people that believe that we should pass constitutional carry, because I believe that the good guy with the gun will stop the bad guy with the gun. And you can't say that it's a myth, because in any situation, especially in the past situation that happened in Indiana, a good guy with the gun stopped the bad guy with the gun. Saved a lot of people's lives. That's why we have police officers. Other than that, like, the bad guy with the gun would probably take their own life. But let me know in the comment section down below, do you think that American citizens should have their gun rights taken away from them, or do you believe that the Second Amendment is pretty much cut and dry, fine print, and we don't have weapons of war? That's all I have for you today. I'm your host, TJ Evans, with another episode of the TJ Evans Show. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the page, hit the bell for notifications. Rumble, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff. Don't take my word for it. You know, do your own research. Y'all stay up, stay safe. Peace.